was that like winning the Palme d'Or and the Palme Dog? Because they give an award now to a canine performance.
I tried before to have the Palme dog, but I didn't succeed before because I worked a lot with dogs.
You do?
Yes, in my previous movies, yeah.
So as you can see, an accidental fall is going to be hard to defend, given the height of the windowsill. Mm-hmm. So that's why there's an investigation for more suspect, and your more suspicious death, yeah, and your témoin assisté because you were the only person there.
Okay.
And of course, you're his wife. Now, looking for a stranger who walks in, kills him while you were sleeping right above and Daniel was out for a walk is a shitty strategy. Samuel had no enemies.
Stop. I did not kill him.
That's not the point.
Welcome to Behind the Lens. Today, well, she won the Palme d'Or this year at the Cannes Film Festival. Only the third woman, and I think it's getting to the point where we don't even have to say that a woman has finally won the Palme d'Or because now we've had 3 winners and it seems like you don't even think about it anymore. There's so many great filmmakers, doesn't matter the gender. So many movies that you've made and started your career in film directing doc shorts. I was interested to see. So please welcome Justine Triet. Hello.
Hello.
The director of Anatomy of a Fall and co-writer. And I love the title, by the way, Anatomy of a Fall, because the basic premise of the movie, the husband falls to his death, basically, from the 2nd floor, and it becomes a mystery of sorts. How did this happen? Was he pushed? Did he jump? Did he trip? But Anatomy of a Fall really works on another level as a title, as anatomy of a relationship. And a relationship that's falling in different ways. So I thought that was a great title for this. Does that translate exactly in French too, to mean that as well?
It's exactly the same sense, yes, yeah. Yes.
How did you come up with the idea to do this? Are you a fan of crime stories?
Yes, of course.
You are, I could tell, yeah, because seeing this a second time, I really could see the structure going in here.
I see everything, some very bad things and some masterpiece, you know.
This seems to be your first foray into feature filmmaking in this genre, though. You've done romantic comedies and other kinds of movies in the past. So now is the time to jump in.
Yeah, it was. I wanted to change and to find the time to develop that movie with the time and to try to do something very personal, you know, so not to copy something that we have seen before. So yes.
The minute I saw this movie in Cannes, I knew this dog had the Palme dog in the bag. There was no way this dog could lose. It was an amazing performance. But I think it's the first time any movie's won both those.
Yes. Yes, it's the first time.
Messi, which is the real name of the dog,
exactly.
plays Snoop. And that performance, just of the dog, you got fantastic performances across the board here. Obviously, Sandra Hüller, who stars in it, and Samuel Thies, also the young man, the young kid that plays the son. Milo is amazing too. They say never work with kids or animals, but you do.
Yes, but in a way it's not so difficult for me because we have to adapt us to them. But in a way it's not so difficult.
You know, sometimes they put dogs in a plot just to, cut away with the camera, cute shot, all that kind of thing. This dog is integral to everything this movie's about. Really, he seems like a replacement for the father.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's a real gaze in the movie. He has a gaze, and I wanted to show that he's not an accessory.
Right.
And so, yes, I was very inspired by White Dog, by Samuel Fuller, you know. and the way he shoot behind the dog, you know, at the same
You did it on the level of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dog's point of view.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that's the way they shot Benji too,
Yeah.
famously, and it was kind of unique then.
Yeah. And so yes, it was very, very important to look at him like a character in the movie and not just like an accessory. So yes, it's a ghost of the father. It's a gaze of the son of Daniel because he's blind. He's visually impaired. Sorry. So yes, he's very important in the story.
Yeah, without giving too much away, because we want them to go see the movie.
Yeah.
And I would recommend go see the movie and then go see it again, because there's so much in the second time you see it too, which doesn't always happen in movies. But I couldn't see the strings. It was really interesting. It's a very solid story. You co-wrote this with Arthur Harari, who you've worked with before. He's also your partner in life here. And what was that collaboration like? How did you work? Because this is about a relationship, has one key scene that's a major argument that's unbelievable. That's like the way it's shot and the way it's written and everything. I'm wondering, collaborating with somebody you know that well, how does that work?
It was quite easy. I think I asked for him to help me at the beginning. And, you know, I had the idea of the movie just 1 week before the pandemic time. So, so we just 1 week after we were closed in boxes. I don't know, no, enfermés. I just in lockdown in boxes. So yes, it was very funny to write that story, you know, because it's in there's a courtroom and the house and the courtroom and the house and very well in lock in the movie too. So yes, it was something, and I think it was like a ping pong, you know. Always we send the scenes, and I think it was very funny because, you know, the movie is about women and men and all the relationship between that couple, and I think it was very interesting to be him a man and me and a woman, even if it didn't just write the man's part and me and the woman's part. But I think it was, yes, quite interesting to be two to build this, yes.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really interesting. When my wife saw it, she goes, do you want me to write a couple of questions for you? Because I have a lot of ideas after seeing this. And I said, sure, go ahead. And she says, I'll tell you who's on trial here. Women are on trial for their looks, for their success, for this. She listed all these things that are here, for their sexuality. They wouldn't ask men about that in a courtroom. All of these different things, she said, were clearly on trial in this movie that she got out of it. And, you know, it really resonated, that aspect to it.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I think she's not a good victim, you know, in the movie. Sandra is not a good victim, so she's not crying a lot. She's independent. She takes some place in her couple, and I think she's unusual. You know, she's not the normal. How do you say the binaire? Non, pas binaire, mais le couple plus normé, pardon.
She doesn't conform to the usual gender roles in a
Sorry,
relationship.
she doesn't conform to the union. Okay, I have to take some English lessons.
Well, she doesn't have to conform to anything, you know.
Yeah.
She's a success on her own as an author. Sandra Huller, you worked with in Sybil.
Yeah.
She sort of played you, a director, making a movie.
Yes, and she imitated me, yeah, a little, yes.
And now you're working with her again, giving her did you write this for her based on your knowing her all these years and things?
Yeah, she was in my mind since the beginning, and I was obsessed by her. And I started another project before, and I put it on the garbage because it was not enough good. But yes, I was obsessed by her, and when I wrote the character, I was obsessed by, okay, she can play that person because she's uncatchable, you know, in the movie. And I think Sandra could be very human, and at the same time cold, and at the same time, she's very complex, you know.
Yeah, very complex, you know, and so you never know they have a thing on the movie that I saw, www.didshedoit.com.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that to you the other night when I saw you
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
party. But I have since gone on to it, and they actually ask, do you think she did it or you didn't? And you press yes or no. And then you go to the second thing where they ask you to say, well, why? Write an essay. So it's sparking on that level all of that too, of trying to guess. And you keep it a secret. You don't want that out there.
Yes, I think the most important was to play it like an innocent, you know, and don't do some duplicitist things, like, okay, I'm doing something and I'm, we've been many effects, you know, and so yes, I think the main point on the movie, the main subject is really the couple, and yes, in the same time, it's a whodunit. But I think at the end, the most important thing is much more what kind of woman she is, what kind of mother, how they lived together, how they managed that family, that couple. Much more than just she did it or not, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I love courtroom dramas. I love the genre. I've seen so many of them. It's always interesting to watch directors how they shoot the courtroom scene. Stanley Kramer, for instance, with Judgment at Nuremberg, kept the camera going at a 360 angle constantly, that I started noticing the camera moving all the time, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but it's a device. For you, are you just interested in this genre within that, the courtroom thing, and
Yes,
how you
of
make that
course.
cinematic?
Yes, and it's very rare. It's very complicated, you know, to shoot in a place like this.
Right.
So you have to find a way to have fun with and to to find the good way to look at that people, and not just don't move and
The staticness that is
Yes.
dangerous in a courtroom, particularly American courtrooms. I was interested in the fact that you've got one person on this side, another person, they seem to be having a conversation. They don't have to be in, you know, testifying, just one person at a time.
yeah, exactly.
That
Yes.
makes it interesting to watch too. I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, because we are very influenced by the U.S. courtroom legal drama, and it's so many masterpieces. But I wanted to do something very based in France, and to play another part of yes, it's different in France, you know. So.
Right. What's interesting too is I referenced the argument that they have, the big fight, which you go into flashback. It starts in the courtroom as an audio tape,
Yeah.
and so we're hearing it, and then it goes into flashback and we see the actual scene play out, and then it goes back to the courtroom playing the last of it, which to me was fascinating in terms of sound, use of sound, and where we as the audience are then listening to them describe what's really going on, even though we've just seen a big chunk of it. Was that always the intention of when you're shooting a scene like that?
I think it was very important to be frustrated, like the jury, like Daniel, the kid, you know. And I wanted to put the spectator in the same position, you know, to be frustrated, because there is a lack of images, and you fantasize something, you know. So I gave something to the spectator because I didn't want to be too, you know, and it's not clever, but malin. C'est clever. And to give something of that couple, you know, of their life. But in the same time, I wanted to show that we have to imagine and to fantasize something from the sound, from the recording. And I think when you are in lack of images, you have to fantasize, and sometimes you imagine the worst, you know. So for me, it's like this. When I see crime stories or something like this, I imagine the worst when it's just the sound, you know. And so you were talking about the very strong and yes, it's how you say, sorry, a climax scene, you know, with people yelling and there is some blows.
Yeah.
And so, and because you don't see the scene, you imagine and you don't know who are fighting.
What they're doing, you know, and
yeah.
you're relying on their
Yeah.
relating what happened, which I thought was interesting, because in a courtroom, we're hearing stories, but we don't know if they're true. We're hearing other people's narratives, and
Exactly.
that's a courtroom. It's not really a place of fact. It's a place of
And you have to work and to imagine,
Right.
and to recreate the story. And I wanted to put the spectator in that position, you know, like in real life.
The other thing I think is so interesting about this, and your choices not only as a director but as a writer, is language. Language is such an important key element here. Did you always have it intended that you're going to have, because you wrote it for Sandra, so you have a German actress married to a French man, speaking English much of the time here. Was it always going to be that way, or was it going to be an English language movie?
No, it was like this. And for me, language is in the center of the project. And yes, it embodies the situation of that couple, you know. They are not talking the same language all the time. And she's talking another language to her child. And so
And
I
in
think,
the courtroom too.
Yeah, in the
when
courtroom.
she decides she has to.
Yes, the
explain.
French is the language when she prepares what she has to say, and when she's moved and too much emotionally touched, she switches in English. So she has many many filters between her and the reality.
So interesting. I mentioned that you started in documentaries, doing docs,
Yeah.
shorts. So was that your ambition to maybe do documentaries, and you just drifted back into narrative or somehow?
Yes, I wanted. When I was younger, I was obsessed by documentarists, very famous, Frédéric Weisman and
Yeah.
Charles Clark and many persons in France, like Depardon. And I think, yes, I was first of all impressed by these people and by reality, and of course by the legal system, la justice, the legal system. Yes.
Yeah.
So I spent many time in France in courtroom, and and so yes.
So now it's paid off.
Yeah.
All that, all that time in the legal system. But then you went in, and your first feature film was in a section of Cannes right away, which is really impressive. You did another film, a comedy, that wound up being nominated for Best Film at the César Awards. And then you were in competition for the first time with Sybil, the movie that we mentioned that Sandra Hüller had a supporting role in. It's a very interesting, funny movie. Too, I liked a lot. And now this. I mean, you've had quite a run.
Thank you. Now we are going we are waiting the fall, you know.
You're waiting the fall. Well, you know, it's opening in America. It's people are going to be able to see it here globally. It's probably getting wider distribution than any of your films so far. And you have neon behind it and things. How exciting is that for you to have a film traveling the world here?
It's a dream, yes, because I never imagined that it could be like this with that movie and in general. And yes, it's so amazing to see people who are so touched by the movie. The people are talking a lot about their life to me and say, okay, it's my life, I live that. And so it's not just a beautiful object, you know. People talk me a lot about them. And it's so surprising for me, you know. And somebody told me that she called her ex-boyfriend, and he said, okay, if you want to understand why I split with you, go see the movie Anatomy of a Fall.
It's actually very true, because it certainly sparked conversations with my wife. In fact, the music, she wasn't sure in the beginning of the movie with that music that that's part of the plot, you know, that he plays very loud, annoying music to cut people out and all of that. And she said, if you turned on music like that, I would push you over the thing. It would only take that. It would only take the music, which was.
Okay.
But terrific movie and your films. It's always exciting to see what you're going to do
Thank you.
next. And congratulations on the Palme d'Or and your speech there. I thought was spectacular.
Cette année, le pays a été traversé par une contestation historique, extrêmement puissante, unanime, de la réforme des retraites. Cette contestation a été niée et réprimée de façon choquante.
Really good and important and inspiring for other filmmakers, which is a nice way to use that platform, I thought, too. Even though I think certain people in France might have criticized you in the government, but so what, right? Got to get the message out. Anyway, thank you so much, Justine Triet.
Thank you very much.